Welcome to my channel, Portrait Artist Direct. And this is the second portrait that I'm doing as part of my icon series, and this is Ewen McGregor. So I hope to do him justice. I actually bumped into him at a party many years ago, and you can see that my initial portrait part of the icon series was Carrie Fisher. So I've got a couple of time lapse here at the beginning, and then it's actually kind of going to go to live speed. So if you want to see everything in sort of real time, how long it takes, then please stick through the video. It's just under 15 minutes. I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk over the majority of it and just sort of explain what it is that I'm doing. So at this point, this is done in the high speed, and you can see that I'm working on the eyes and just starting to get some of the detail in. And I'll be using the mechanical pencil for when I need some sharpness, and then I'll be using the 2B graphic pencil when I need a little bit of shading. And I do a lot of my shading here at the beginning using a 2B graphic because it's much softer than the mechanical pencil. You can get a much nicer gradient in your shading. And I don't know if you've watched my previous videos, but you'll see I tend to work in 2B. I'll get most of the picture pretty much finished in 2B, and then I'll go over it with a 4B, 6B or an 8B to really sort of get those shadows in and get the darkness in. So at this point, it's not about how dark I can make the picture. It's more about getting the detail correct, making sure that I'm happy with the eyes especially, before moving on to the rest of the picture, because it can take me a huge amount of time to finish one of these. And if you make a mistake on the eyes, it's very difficult to bring that picture back. So yeah, get the eyes done first. So here's just really just taking my time, shading in, getting some of the eye detail. You can see I think I'm happier with the left eye at this point than the right, but like I say, at this point I'm not overly concerned. I know that when I bring in the darker colors, the darker black, it will really sort of add depth to the eyes. And you'll see in this video I don't really get much more than the eyes sort of semi-completed, but I have worked on the ear. I think sometimes when you concentrate too much on one part of a picture, it gets to a point you almost can't see it. You've been drawing it too long. So I like to sort of have another piece of the picture that I'll switch to. And in this case, it's the ear just sort of behind, and it just starts to add a little bit of 3D depth to the picture as well, which is always nice to sort of subconsciously get an idea of how the picture is going to look as a whole. So here, just using the 2B picture to add some shading in under the eye. There's going to be an awful lot more work needed. I think this picture, I probably spend about 20 hours on each picture, so I wouldn't say I'm particularly fast, but I do it for myself. I'm doing it to enjoy. And yeah, so here you can see where I'm up to. Just switching back to the 2B, and again here, the reason I use the please hit the like button and also subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. You can find my YouTube video under Portrait Artist Direct. Please subscribe. It'll allow me to continue doing these videos, and I love being able to share how I make these pictures, these portraits. But yeah, so here where normally I might be using the mechanical pencil to get the detail, I do like to use the 2B, and you'll find that I'll smudge it using the Derwent paper smudger, or even just a bit of clean tissue. And I tend to try and rotate the tissues, because actually what happens is they get a lot of pencil, a lot of graphite on them, which is actually really nice. And then you can use darker and lighter tissues as you go on, but I'm using a fresh lot here, so the tissue I'm using really doesn't have much on it. But yeah, so just darkening this area around the eye, and you'll see I'll work on the other eye and a little bit on the nose as well in a minute, just trying to make sure I've got all the proportions and bits and pieces correct. please hit the like button and subscribe. It really does make a difference. So if you are enjoying these series of portraits that I'm doing, then please do subscribe to my channel. It's at Portrait Artist Direct, and you can find me on Instagram as well, and that's Portrait Artist Direct. So just working on the nose a little bit. Like I say, I think it's more to do with your eyes get tired of looking at the same piece of drawing, and sometimes it's good to take a little step back. Quite often I'll move backwards across the studio and just sort of get a little idea of how it's coming along. I think at this point you can, with the nose coming in, you can maybe just start to get a better feel that there's a Ewen McGregor in there. It's funny, when I did the drawing, it's a little bit tricky to see, but I think that's mainly because there's a huge amount of work to be done on the beard and the stubble, and then when that beard and stubble comes in, that will really bring his face together. So looking forward to working on that. Just using the Derwent paper to just sort of smudge this area over and blend it. It's really just take your time. I'll switch backwards and forwards from sort of cleaner and dirtier paper smudgers. Sometimes it's quite useful. It's almost like you can draw actually with the smudger. But here I know that eye is looking a bit. The under eyelid bit is looking a bit weird, but that's absolutely fine. I know there's a lot of detail that I'm going to be putting in over the top of that, which is going to make it look very different. So what I'm trying to do is get the core shading correct, and I'll keep working on that because again, I know I've said, but I'll come in with a 4B mechanical pencil, and I use the Mozart ones, but there are many others available. And I will be adding some much darker detail in there, so eyelashes, there's wrinkles to go in, and all sorts of pieces like that. So no, at this point it's really just kind of getting piece by piece, slowly, just getting the areas I want shaded in. So it's just getting the depth and getting everything in the right place, because then when I do come in with the mechanical pencil at the end, then if you looked at my Carrie Fisher one, you can really see the difference when I came in on that with the glasses, and you could suddenly the whole picture pops and becomes a lot crisper. So I tend to work with the background of the paper, the 2B, which I smudge and get some depth in, and then I'm going to come in with the 4B after that, and then if I need to, I've got a 6B and an 8B as well. So here's the 2B. The reason I'm using this, not the mechanical pencil, is, as I said before, these smudge much nicer. The mechanical pencil, great for detail. I don't mind smudging with the mechanical pencil, but they tend to be very grainy, and when you use the tissue, you can get like just a graininess across the paper, which I don't like very much. So I try and use that and not blend it too much at the end, where or at least don't blend it into lighter colors too much, because it does get a graininess to it. see, I've spent a while working on the left eye. I'm just going to start working on the right eye, and I'm going to use the paper stump to do a little bit more blending. So really just exactly the same as I've done on the other eye. And obviously tonally, I need to sort of make sure that I'm not getting too far away from each eye so that it doesn't look odd when it's completed. Now there is some lovely detail in these eyes that I'm going to come back to, because I don't want to do it yet, because over time the eyes will get a bit smudged and some of the detail will be lost. So at this point I'm not overly worried about that. I can see that there's definitely sort of more darkness in that right eye, but there's a lot more work to be done, and that's absolutely fine. So I will come back to that. And then just sort of adding in a little bit depth between the eyes and the nose, and I'll come in and I'll use a clean tissue to just very lightly smudge some of this graphite, some of these pencil marks around the nose, just literally start building some of the 3D feeling to the picture. Getting a few wrinkles in. And this is very close to where I'm going to be finishing this particular video. You can see just smudging it with a clean tissue. So I hope you've really enjoyed watching this. If you like the time lapse more, please leave comments below. If you prefer it in time lapse, or if you like these full videos, please let me know. I'm happy to film it in any format that you like. And as before, please hit the like button, please subscribe. It really does make a difference to me. Will allow me to continue to post these videos. Thank you very much.